Hey everybody, Tanya here. We're back for part 2 of our complete bedroom makeover, so stay tuned. So for this video, we are going to focus on the nightstand. I've decided to go ahead and go with a black base and use the leftover wallpaper from the accent wall that we did in the first video. This is my first time using Dixie Belle mud, so I'm going in and just filling in some minor scrapes and scratches. After it was completely dry, I came back with my sander, wiped everything down, and I noticed that the mud just did not hold up as well as I had hoped. So I came back in and mixed some Bondo to fill in those gaps. Next, I took a pick and just kind of raked out all the debris in this decorative dividing line on the top. I'm going to be cutting the wallpaper for the general size for this square that I want to fill in, and then I will come back and square it all off to make some nice clean cuts. Now it's time to put on our first coat of paint. So I decided to skip the primer since I did do scuff sanding on the whole piece. And this is black paint, but it actually looks kind of gray going on. It's a really soft black, but once we did 2 or 3 coats and let it dry, it was perfectly fine. Next, I'm just laying out the paper over the drawer fronts and giving a cut for the general size. I will come in later and do more exact measuring and cutting to make it fit. I only need to paint the perimeter of these drawer fronts because I'm going to be applying wallpaper. In between coats of paint, I do a fine grit sanding. So I'm going to use the original hardware that was already on the nightstand. I really like the way it looks and feels. And I'm just going to do a blue gold leafing, and I think it's really going to pop. Next, I brushed on a coat of gold leaf varnish. Next, I'll be installing the wallpaper on these drawer faces. So even though I had painter's tape on, I got a little sloppy with my paint here on the sides. So I'll come back in later and sand that off. So here I'm poking through the wallpaper into the original holes. Since we're using the same handles, I'm just reattaching them. And here back on top, I'm using a sanding wedge. I need to just go through this groove to make these edges nice and clean. And I'll have to come back in with a little paintbrush just to touch up the paint a bit. I'm adding some of the blue gold leaf along this molding near the bottom of the nightstand. After the adhesive has dried, we can go ahead and add on the pretty part. I'm leaving the insides of the drawers as is and just giving them a quick vacuum. This is my first time using the satin clear coat by Dixie Belle, and I don't know if it was operator error or because I had black furniture, but it did leave it a little bit streaky. So I didn't remember this little tidbit until it was too late, but apparently you can add just a touch of the paint in with your top coat and it tints it just enough to where it doesn't leave the streaks as bad. I just ended up coming back and spraying on this clear glaze. It gave it a nice finish, and ooh la la, I love the results. So that wraps it up for part 2 of the room makeover. So we'll see you back here for part 3, where I will be working on the final 2 pieces. I cannot wait to see how it all comes together.